Hello everyone and welcome to tutorial number 7, and in this tutorial we're going to learn how to color paragraphs or elements using a class. Or actually using an ID as well. What does that mean? So each tag we can actually give it something called a class, and using that class value we can put it on our CSS file and tell our HTML file that whenever you have this value in your class, I want it to be this color. So I hope you guys didn't get confused, but let me show you what I actually mean. So for example, I have a paragraph here. I'm gonna give it a class, and then I'm gonna call it red, and then I'll put dash text, and actually make sure that you don't actually have spaces, because if you have a space like that, this will actually read it as two different classes. So if I had, let's say, red text, and then I go here, and then let me actually get rid of this one, and if I write dot red text and then open curly bracket and then write color, and then I'll write red, and then I'll put my semicolon. If I save this and actually run it, you guys will see that my class or my paragraph with the class red text got colored to red. And I can also do the same thing in here, and I can write it as same thing. I can write, let's say, blue text, and then this one, for example, I'm still gonna give it the same class as my paragraph. So this one will be red, and this one will be red, and that one will be blue. So if I copy the same thing, and I'll do this one blue, and that one is blue as well, and then press save, and let's run it again. See, everything that had the class of red text, it actually changed to red, and whatever had blue got changed to blue. So it's okay to actually have classes with this. We have different tags with similar classes, but we can do also something called ID. So I'll give this ID, this paragraph, an ID of, let's say, programming. It could be anything you actually rated, but it's a habit not to, or it's a good thing not to actually give an ID, the same ID, to different element tags, because when you actually go and write scripts, and then you're trying to, let's say, do something to one of the IDs only, this will mess up a lot of things. And also, if you're going to do automation or web automation, you'll make the automation engineer's life pretty harder if you actually give a bunch of IDs of the same value. So if I give an ID of this programming, you shouldn't be, it's not you're not allowed to, but you should not actually give another paragraph or another heading an ID of programming. So let's actually not worry about that at all, and that's actually how to actually color an ID. So an ID is actually the same type of idea, but instead of you putting a dot, you actually do a pound sign. So if I put a pound sign, and I'm pretty sure I spelled programming wrong, but that's fine. And if I do this and I'll write color, I want purple. And if I actually run it, it's gonna be purple. And the choose of color was actually pretty bad. So let me actually do it green to just make it more visible. And then let's save it. And make sure when you run it, don't run the CSS, because if you run CSS, that's what's gonna happen. And I always do that, so just something to keep in mind. When you run it, make sure you're in the index file. So if I run it, here you go, it's green. And that's it for this tutorial actually. So just to recap, we learned how to color based on the class, and we also learned how to color it based on the ID. And the only difference is you write for the class, you put dot and then the value, and make sure you don't have any spaces. And then for the ID, you can have the pound sign. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next video.